enjoy few bars of our teen song. Then, of course, the next voices to be hearing will be me and that of my guests. On this show, I've been playing host to 3 of Liberia Best. Yeah, in person of Martha Gible from the LDEA, that is Liberia National Drugs Enforcement Agency. He's the official spokesperson from that end. And of course, Achi Sano will also be part of my, area of guests here. Then not forgetting, of course, the man Maxine Pacquiao, from Just Stay Forum. They all will be talking about something very important, something that is destroying our nation, something that you don't want to hear about and talk about here any longer. That is the drugs that are destroying the future of this nation. They got one new one on the market they call Kuch. You know, one boy from the call family yet died recently from Kuch. So we will be discussing that. 2 of my guests are pretty seated, and the third person is just around the corner, and he will be energetic. Then we continue from there. So whatever you are, the name is Joe Nutra, one of the alongside all the giants in the broadcasting business. They're all seated over there to make sure that we do those things that are worth talking about. So I'm here, they are there, and we continue from there, and I'll make sure that we do the best we can to give you those information, education, and of course the entertainment. So yes, to begin, what do we have on the plates in terms of our little small talking? Yes, okay, let me see what I can take this quick break. When I come back, then we continue our more talk.
You are the air I'm breathing. My I said that I play a carry you. My I saw my you rain yo. I'm that Johnny. I saw my name. I get the money, my name. I want to see my baby. I want to see my baby. Money, my head. I get the money, my name. I want to see my baby. I want to see my baby. Money, my head. Yeah, the nigga. Money, oh. Son and son, and you are missing you. Daddy, my girl. Baby, oh. You're my sweet cherry and my love. You are the reason I'm walking from my road. Going began to see my baby up. Tell her you're the reason I said me up my door. I get the money, my head. I want to see my baby. I want to see my baby. Money, my head. I get the money, my head. I want to see my baby. I want to see my baby. Money, my head.
See, Ma, I've been missing you for long. And I can't wait to have you in my arms. Matatopito mampuku no show, baby. Feel it, master. Your beauty got me cold. You got me a kissing your photo. I can't wait to see you. I'm looking for photo. Tell a man I stop it, big girl. So see my money, my head. My you, me, I love you, die. Be my enemy if I make you cry. I swear I love you, baby. Can't wait to spend the rest of my time.
I get that money, my head. Baby, I want to see my baby. Money, my head. I get that money, my head. I want to see my baby. I want to see my baby. Money, my head. That's why I'm taking job for I see you, yeah. For now, I love you, I know.
Okay. So, thank you for being patient and for the little interlude of music. That's our Liberian star there trying to make sure that the entertainer was something better. Okay, like I said to you, the audience out there, that whatever you are, my name is Joe Nutra One, and of course I got all of my people seated already, and we are about to kickstart our discussion. So a lot on the plate this afternoon. So my technicians are Nigeria technicians. I got over 2 person here this afternoon. Smith and that of Jiffan. They're doing everything humanly possible to make sure that you get the best out of the discussion this afternoon in terms of our equipment, and it's better position. So they are here. So I beg you, if you're not coming on soon as you may be anticipating, just bear with us. We're trying to do the best we can to make sure that we get this discussion. When we start up, we want to just flow, non-stop. So like I said, I got 2 of my guests are already in studio. That is Michael Gible. Mr. Michael Gible is from the LDEA. And of course, Mr. Maxine Pacquiao, he's from the Justice Forum segment of our society. It's an advocacy group, and he is the second. And the third guest is Achi Sanon. Achi Sanon is somewhere in the traffic again, like he said to me. He's somewhere in the traffic. But gentlemen, it's my pleasure this afternoon to have you guys seated here in studio with me. Yes. Okay, starting with you from immediate left.
Thank you, Mr. Warner. Yeah. And as usual, I'm delighted to be here this afternoon, especially when issues of national importance arises, where for us as stakeholders have a major role to play. And I wanted to thank you for the invite, and I'm here to give a piece of information that the public is in need of.
Okay, that sounds good to me. And to my immediate right?
Well, yeah, the name is Ambassador Maxine Pacquiao, Executive Director of Justice Forum Liberia. Once again, it's a great pleasure for us to be here representing Justice Forum Liberia, and also we are very, very delighted to form part of this particular discourse where we'll be discussing issues of national concern. So thank you so much for the invitation.
Okay, for the benefit of my audience out there, the third guest, when he comes in, seriously, we'll usher him in quickly, then we can continue the discussion. But gentlemen, it's my pleasure on behalf of management to have you guys taking time off your busy schedule to grace our platform with your presence. Okay, to kickstart with, Michael, precisely, this has to do with what you're working is all centered around drugs. And to not miss my word, the future of Liberia is threatened. The future of Liberia is going to be destroyed, poised to be destroyed, if at all. Lip services, as we see, it turns to reality in terms of fighting drugs and what I feel. You from the end that fight drugs, where are we with this thing?
Thank you very much. And again, my name is Michael Gible, and I head the Department of Communication and Public Affairs from the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency. It's good to be here this afternoon, like I intimated initially. Let me firstly say that the DA is doing pretty well, especially from our lady's arrest of the 100 million drug bust in Liberia of October last year, followed by the subsequent $40 million drug bust also at the Freeport of Monrovia. And we're still on our beat to ensure that the borders are well mended alongside the joint security, and also to ensure that Liberia is a no-go zone when it comes to the issue of drug abuse and drug trafficking in our country. Notwithstanding, we are aware of the recent wave of quote unquote the drugs called Kush that are causing serious havoc in our society, or better still, leaving folks victimized as a result of its hallucinating effect. And what we want to say categorically is that this is not new, all right? And Kush, as a matter of fact, is not a new drugs. It's not. It's only unfortunate that people are like getting to hear about it, right? But Kush has been around from the 70s. And interestingly, it comes from the very cannabis family. Under the cannabis plant, there are several types: the cannabis sativa, the cannabis indica, and of course, Kush is from the family, the strains of cannabis indica. And cannabis indica is a very strong, a potent drugs that has a very strong effect that is equally damaging. But the prevalence, the rate at which youth has been victimized from Kush of recent, I think that has drawn our attention, and we've been engaging into several, studies and investigations to find out as to whether indeed that those deaths that are probably linked to the use of Kush are actually as a result of Kush. And that was standing, like I stated, Kush is a very strong drug. And almost like the cannabis family as a whole, these are drugs that do not, that are very jealous. You don't mix them. Whenever you're doing cannabis like to take supremacy in your system. In other words, when you take cannabis, you don't add anything to it. Whenever you do, then of course you are creating an atmosphere where the two drugs or the two substances are going to compete for control. And when they are competing for control, that's where you find out that it creates a breakdown in the human system depending on your resistance, because obviously cannabis is a jealous drug, right? It's a jealous narcotic substances. So we're trying to find out. Our investigation is still on course to establish whether all of the folks who have been victimized as a result of this drug intake, and has been reported as to whether indeed Kush is the underlying factor that is the cause of all of these deaths that we're hearing around town. But notwithstanding, we're doing what we think we can to ensure that those drugs are prevented from entering our country. Quite recently, in February, we arrested huge consignment from the Roberts International Airport, all right, and those were concealed in food packages, just like the way you have the noodles food being packed, pre-packed. That's how they were packed in those stuff, and we managed through our security intelligence to have uncovered some of them. And also along the Grand Cape Mountain Belt, the Bullwater side, we managed to have arrested another, consignment of that. And we're doing what we can to ensure that these things does not penetrate our borders. But again, the security challenges are enormous. But as far as we're concerned, all of our guys are on a beat to ensure that we're able to do what we can do within our reach.
Okay, I'll hold you there for the benefit of my audience. Again, my third guest just came in, but I'll let him have a time to be cooled off a little before I can go to him to give his opening statement. So, Mr. Pacquiao, so let's come over to you. You just hear the narration. You just heard it in terms of what is unfolding from the DA and you from the advocacy, and let's hear from you.
Well, let me welcome my brother, Haji. I've been hearing about you a long time. I've met you. It's great to see you. Thank you as well for the advocacy. It's great that my brother is here from the DEA. In fact, I decided to send a message to Colonel Robert Budi this morning, and I asked him if we could have a meeting with him, the LDA director. And of course,
that is LRS directly talking about Colonel Robert Budi. Okay,
and also maybe perhaps 102.
Okay.
Brisbane. We even went to your office earlier. None of your big people were there. They told us. So our plan is to go back tomorrow, hopefully. We are also very concerned. Likewise, my brother just said. I mean, all of us here that are in the studio here, we are all fathers, and what we are hearing about in terms of what is now being on the school is kush. To be honest with you, I just got a history right now, but to me, is brand new thing that I'm hearing about in Liberia.
The kush.
Seriously.
Okay.
But thanks for the education, reminding us that in fact I've been here for a little while now. It was on Monday. Let me just give you a gist of why, in fact, we have now decided to take on Kush fight. It was last Monday when we went to the to assess the foreign ministry. We came outside and we saw our mothers in good numbers, I can say. They were holding placards. And I, as a social justice advocate, I decided to go and find out why were our mothers there. When I went there, I read posters with the name Kush on it. And they are saying Kush is finishing our children. Yeah. And then I decided to engage them one by one. And to my ultimate surprise, I saw 3 mothers. Between the 3 mothers, they have lost 5 children. Some of them, I mean, all of them were in high school, 11, 12, 10th grade. They lost them just within the vicinity of Suniwe. So the mother said that we have decided to come out because we want to cry out to all of you, so you can put hands together to help fight this deadly killer called Kush. So we spent time with them. I was interviewed there. Then from there, I asked them. I said, "Okay, what do you people want us to do next?" They said, "Well, first of all, we are trying to create awareness, and so we want to come back here on Monday, which is day for yesterday, or yesterday. Today's Tuesday." So I said, "Okay, but then just from Liberia, we join you people." So Monday we came there. Well, placards prepared as well. Even though
What was that?
right in front of the they call it foreign ministry.
Okay.
Right by the fence of the University of Liberia. And then we spent about an hour and a half there, raising the awareness of Kush and any other substance that we call drugs in this land. And so then we decided to say, well, okay, we're not going to leave here now just by standing here, but we want to engage some stakeholders. What we want to do right now, especially the LGA is represented here, is to ask you people, you are aware of this, and you know that it is causing life. Your children are on a serious attack. And my surprise here to hear that even in our schools, high schools, that there are drugs. It puzzled me. I will never ever hear this in my second home country today, the United Kingdom. No way. So we are very concerned, and we want to. You are not an authority to us. So we want to tell you on behalf of those mothers that we met, and on behalf of those mothers that are right now grieving, that please, you're double up. There's something smelling. And if this smell spread around Liberia, like how the issue of shisha, which we will talk on later, we've been campaigning against, it's going to have a serious effect on all of us. And the families are getting devastated. All of us need to get our hands on the deck. If there's a need, in fact, there is a need, that we call for a national conference wherein all of us can go on a one palava hut and try to suggest and try to work on finding solutions as to how we can get this thing hold of. Let's do it. Our borders are fragile. Our borders are fragile. Just 2-3 weeks ago, when I sat down with the British ambassador for 2 hours, these are some of the issues I raised with him. You got to help us. When we met the United States government, there's a similar thing we told them. Our brothers are so fragile to the extent that drugs, are just so easy to get into Liberia. And this is disheartening. I feel so sad right now that somebody, a mother, will bring up the child in 11th grade, 12th grade, and I mean, at the point of trying to graduate now, perhaps the mother will say tomorrow now, he or she is about to help me in my later deadline. And the child is normal. And the only thing they tell you, my son, as Soma said, my son dying with blood coming from the nose, from the ears and so. Come on, man. And we say, I don't think we need to just be talking now. We need actions.
We need action. Okay, let me hold you there and come quickly to my entire guest, who is Achisano. I have called your name already, so it's just a matter of just flowing. So let's hear from you. So.
Thank you very much, and thank you to my two
and by the way, to the audience over there, this is the man who enacted this thing in my mind.
Okay.
Because when I heard him, kind of lamenting
On it.
I said, there's a need that we should extend this thing to discuss it more. So actually, you can go ahead.
Thank you very much, Mr. Wan, for this platform, and to my two colleagues in here. Let me appreciate the both of you for at least for we raising this debate. And that's why I always told people, my stand on issues is not about me, it's about the country, my country. I love my country, and I want to see a better nation. I want to see a better society for all of us. Some people may have problem with some of us, but the fight remain that we have to hold Liberia. We have to work collectively to see how best Liberia can move forward. And this is why in my articulation, when it comes to the issue of the coach, I may mention that we beg the president. We all can do it collectively for the good of the country. The legislature, the executive, the judiciaries, the citizens, collectively we can work together and defeat the bad substance that are killing our people. And Mr. Warner, in my research, I found out that this bad substance has killed many persons in our country. In fact, the last time some people died, it was on the Coast Guard base when I found out that 2 persons died, blood coming from their nose, foam coming from their mouth. From there, I started to think, what happened to our nation? Leaders are not taking major decisions to fight substances that are killing our people. If you watch foreign news, in parliament or in the legislature, parliamentarians members or legislative members are crafting policy to protect future generation. I have not seen that in Liberia. What I have seen is all about money, 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 money. So actually what precipitated this alarm here is that this boy, I met him Sunday by 9 o'clock p.m. We talk. And after he left, 10 o'clock, according to his mom, he went to St. Paul's Bridge to meet few friends. So the next morning they found his body. He's from the Islamic background. So I went to sympathize with them, taking the body to for burial. So I said, despite we are Muslim, we don't want to question God, but it is prudent for us to find out the cause of death. And I asked as to whether he has bruises around him. They said no, because I thought that somebody stabbed him with a knife. So when I investigated and I found out from the friends and family that there is a need that we trace those that he went to at that time. Don't follow the friends, family members, or all of areas he went so we can know what led to his death. Then some people said that no, he just died, there's no bruises, there's no knife. I said, we have to find the cause of death. Despite you don't want to call medical practitioner, and then homicide department to come and investigate. But what we can do, we can trace all the areas he went, then we can find out. So when they find out that he went to Ogeto area, And after he left, apparently they saw his condition. Nobody could have rescued him because his condition was very critical. And they told me that when they took him to the hospital, he was already dead. So the state tried to find out that what happened. But at the end of the day, we found out that the friends, some of them were very much magnanimous and said that he took some substance. To our surprise, it was Kush that killed this young man. So nothing I could do but to call a few press people to raise the alarm, to call government attention, citizen attention, how best we can address these issues. Because if we don't do this, many of our young people will die before their future. So that's what precipitated this call. And I'm grateful to God and you to see my two friends here as patriot. That's what we call nationalism. This is nothing we call politics. It's our country future. I think leaders should be elected to seek the welfare of the people, to address critical national issues that affect the states. And that's why I like what the late John F. Kennedy said. He said that if a free society cannot save the vast majority that live and cannot protect the vast majority that live in poverty, will not save the few that live in wealth. This is why you have always seen sometimes a young man see yourself in your hand, just go after you with Caesar, sometimes starve you and take that phone from you, sometimes it lead to death. So our call here is for government to be concerned, to be able to address these issues. We all can help collectively to address it. It can happen. Nobody can say it can happen. It can happen. If we are willing for to put stuff to this substance, I think we can do it if we are willing to work collectively.
It can happen. Just to pick up from where you step. Now, the situation is such that it's not because of the society is not willing to cooperate, but this, I think my problem from what I see, it goes directly to
the
DEA. I think you are not getting this kind of support. Because I don't know on your workplace, whether you still got people volunteering their services, fighting a very lucrative, substance that can give a man $1 trillion in a seconds. You understand? I don't know whether the government is giving you the needed support, the vehicle, the guns, the everything you can think about. Are you getting it from government?
Irrespective of the support aspect, I want us to underscore the importance of the discussion, which is the kush that is quote unquote being stated as the cause of all of these, rising deaths. And let me say this for the record. It's also, worth noting that kush generally, it has a fewer side effects than too many other drugs you may think about. But that does not mean that those side effects are not harmful or neither can cause damages. And like my brother, Mr. Sano just said, when one died suspiciously, then that calls for scientific investigations. And what will quantify our argument as to whether all of these deaths are as a result of the intake of kush, it is scientific medical means to establish as to whether indeed it is kush. Notwithstanding, like I stated, kush has been around for a very long time, but in our own terrain, probably it has just been experienced, right? And the rate at which the youth who are addicted to drugs are running with it, there is a probability, a possibility for that to cause mayhem. But again, like I stated, we're doing investigations. The kush drug is a drug that is from the cannabis family, right? And it is the cannabis indica. And that cannabis indica is one of the new strains of the cannabis family that is very, very, very much radical, strong in a sense. So when you take it, sometimes given, the body resistance, it causes the blood pressure to rise. He mentioned about the fellow was dead and they saw some blood streams from his nose, right? So sometimes when you take that drugs, that what happens when the blood pressure rises at that instant, when you are not, being monitored, the next thing that happens, the blood fluctuates into the brain. And when it goes into the brain, what happens? You fall off and immediately you suffer from some kind of an internal problem. The next thing you die. So it is only a scientific means can establish all of these. But like I stated, Kush is in our country. We've arrested them, and we are still on the verge of arresting more. But the point here is that this is a collective effort, like I just stated. Thank God that Mr. Kpakio intended visiting our office as well, so that collectively we can find a remedy to this problem. Why it's true that we're doing scientific investigation or whatever investigations to establish as to whether Kuch is the underlying factor of these deaths, then again, it's not what is worth noting that security concerns are very important. How well are our security structure?
Right.
How well we are capacitated, and how well we can enhance our operation to ensure that these things do not enter our borders to cause mayhem for our people. And this calls for a joint stakeholders consultation. And I'll tell you for free, in the absence of logistical support, the full support financially, quote unquote, alongside a kind of stringent drug law in this country, we probably might be fighting a losing battle.
So to that, can I infuse this to while you deliberate? Should we have a death penalty on this?
No, it's not about death penalty. You see, the law is not projected to go after certain people. As a matter of fact, every crime committed in this country is committed against the state. And it's been perceived as a state crime. So we are not approaching it as with the intent of going after certain individual. What we're concerned about, we just want a kind of a stringent law that meets international standards.
Which prohibits,
of course, that will be stringent to the extent where drug traffickers, drug users, probably when they think of drug, they will zero Liberia out of their mind. And let me say this. Currently, as I speak to you, we are the investigation, the trial of the 100 million drug boss is ongoing in a court, and such a huge drug has been arrested. I don't want to preempt this, but this might not surprise me if at all these guys are likely to go to that to walk out of the court scot-free.
Because
I'm
hearing even a vehicle to get them from one end to another.
But that's some of the problem.
You don't have it.
No, that's the logistical aspect. But we're talking about the legal framework, the legal structure laid down in order to safeguard the process, or in order to ensure that indeed we are serious about what we want to do in this country. Now, following the drug bust in October, I think a few weeks after, the Senate concurred with the lower house on the passage of the drug law. And their own wisdom, they said there were some other things or some other T that need to be crossed and other I's that needed to be dotted. And therefore, they constituted a committee to work on these and submit them to plenary for the final endorsement and then onward to the office of the president. From October up to present, I think there's one thing we should equally be looking at. And I say this, we have a society where people tend to talk about things at the moment when it is, when it just happens.
Right.
Immediately a few days after, people go back. Nobody gets time.
No, precisely. The 100 million or something you can't even.
Nobody wants to know about it. Yeah, but it's because the media, who is the fourth estate, who are supposed to be alarming some of these things or bringing those concerns feet to the fire, the media probably everything we want to politicize it. Everything we want to draw politics, everything we want to see it from different, even if those things that are very, very, very much cardinal to the survivability of our country as well as the youthful generation, we tend to ignore them because of politics. And unfortunately, again, the very youthful generation who's supposed to be minded of what future we all stand to hold in this country, they are carried away by the same political rhetoric. And
Michael, I'm gonna make the open confession. And I've been approached by so many, people who want to come on this platform to discuss politics. I said, look, you know what? We got more important things in the election. I said, when the election days come, we will talk about it. But where we find ourselves, your son and your daughter going to school today. In your mind, they are in school, but in their mind,
they're somewhere else.
They are somewhere else doing something different. By the time you get to realize it, I got a 17-year-old son. When he's out of my sight, it's just like a 1-year-old baby. I'm confused. I got a 22-year-old daughter in the university. When you go to school, I'm worried like a 2-year-old child.
Of course. What are her associations? What are the places they are going?
I'm telling you.
What are the things they are doing? Who are those? Are they befriending?
So, like you rightly said, the media had drifted away from her cardinal, calling or responsibility, I would say. I mean, other can lash at me, I don't care. But the fact remains that the media has drifted away from the reality. They think when you sit on the radio and talk, this thing they call politics, don't even understand. I mean, you're the best journalist. I said, you've been foolhardy. You've been wasting your time. This is it. You sitting down here, you don't know what your wife is even taking, your girlfriend is taking, your sons and daughters also they're taking. They will leave these things. The $100 million drugs you're talking about is supposed to be on the newspaper headline 24/7 and read news articles. Every platform talking about it. But tune into other stations now. All you hear is about politics. Go ahead. I mean, I'm just disappointed.
So you see, this calls for all hands on deck, and we'll welcome Mr. Pacquiao's, office and whatever in our country or whoever that are concerned, right? This is about Liberia. It's not about the DA. Like I often tell people, the people who do drugs, the people who bring drugs, they are not at our headquarters. No, they are in the very communities.
Right.
When they come in this country, they infiltrate our system, they polarize our community, and our youth become victimized. And that's the reason why when we are, as people, seeing these things that are creeping our sector, our society, we should stand up, we should rise up. There's no time for, this kind of petty jealousy or discussing things that are not important. What we should be thinking is how well we can prevent. I told people, I said, look, trust me, you gotta ask me now, what wish do I have for the legislature? Is for them to ensure that this country gets better. Every time people try to blame the executive, but we should understand that there are 3 branches of government distinctly.
Right.
And each of them have their role. Are every function of the government playing their role to the letter? So we have to look at what role has the legislature got that are able to mend the broken pieces in this country, that are able to cement those broken pieces, or rather to improve the country. When it comes to lawmaking in this country, it's squarely a responsibility. And so this is not an issue that should just center around politics. If this has to do with the survivability of the state, the security of the state, it should be taken prominently. From October last year, following the endorsement, we've heard no news about it.
That's right.
Everybody was looking when the president mounted the pulpit doing his last State of the Nation address or whatever, he would have said something. And the president did call on them to do the experience thing. Of course, the president did call on them. But up to present, we're hearing nothing about it.
No, they are concerned about they're going back to the house. So quickly to the two of you, let me just come close to the two of you. Gentlemen, the drugs talking about, it's not sitting in ABC radio station.
No.
It's not sitting at
the DA headquarters. No.
It is within the community.
Yes.
What are we doing to tell those landlords? Those landlords are front for those drugs peddler that say, oh, my man, I'm a good customer. I'm a good client because
the man living in my place.
He transformed my yard. Today he hear because my daughter going to America without drugs, infested money. To the two of you, what do you say about that?
Let me come in. He said the two of you said something. You talked about the politician. He also made mention the issue of the legislature. And that's why I told electors, election is coming. Don't say how much you get for me. Call candidates and tell them what's going to be your policy on the issue of drugs, corruption, the living standard of the people. You need people that will come with policy decisions that will protect the future of this country. But you see, most of our people are concerned, what did you bring? How will someone give you $20 and destroy the future of your children? These are serious concerns. So the issue of legislature, that's why we should take people to the legislature that are willing to transform this country on the basis of policy decision. Collectively,
so if
we can do better.
If I may add up quickly, will you guys call for drug tests or those who want to go to the House of Representatives or any position in government? For that
you just brought about it. Probably I would have dragged there, right? And in our proposed model drug law that is before the legislature, I think it was one of the recommendations that there should be a voluntary drug test
for every official
of government, of course. If that is the case, the reason why these things are cardinal is because they serve as a caveat, they serve as a standard as a medium of ensuring integrity, check and balances, especially on account of the people who enters into government. We've recommended that. And we're hoping that when the finally should have decided on the drug law, when that final draft has been submitted, at least we should see something about it. Not only, the reason that is important is because that will serve also as a deterrent for kids who are already involved into drug addiction. If for any reason a child is already addicted, we're not denying that child from going to school, but that will means that child will rather go into the society, go through the process of rehabilitation and reintegration before coming back into enrolling into tertiary education system, if possible university. The fact that if that child remains an addict and stays in a school or enters in a school, the ability of the possibility to polarize that school is very high.
100%.
So to avoid these things, a school could choose based on the character traits of a person. A school could choose for that person to go do a drug test. And the DEA, when that act is passed, will be fully capacitated to conduct these tests. And that not only just the conduct of the test. Every day we complain we cry about money. That quote unquote could equally remit revenues that will augment the budget of the DEA. And the more important thing is that that will serve as an eye-opening for society in terms of those who are involved into the act of drug trafficking or, if possible, drug use. And I tell you, we will have a serious dividend. We experience a very good, appreciable result in that. And that is done. So we're hoping that when we see that
I think
happening.
Waki seems to be too relaxed, and for the information that is coming up to out of Mr. Jipley.
Well, I mean, not really relaxed about it, but one thing I want to, first of all, admonish all of us here, for the sake of the message to be clear, I want us to be careful with the choice of words.
Okay.
The drug that we're talking about, as far as the diagnostic from the common people is concerned, the models are telling us it is the drug that kills their children. Let us not sugarcoat it. The drug is bad. Whether you take it and because it is a drug, perhaps, like my brother said, that it doesn't like to be mixed with another any substance or whatsoever. But the fact of the matter that it is a drug by itself and it is causing death. Let us strictly tell the people, our young people, that it is dangerous. I wouldn't want to use any light words on those things. Remember, we talked once upon a time about shisha, and we told you that we petitioned the legislatures.
That's right.
To add shisha as well on cigarettes that is being banned from smoking in public, accordingly in Liberia. I don't know whether the law is taking effect. And in 2020, while we were here, we were visiting some centers, entertainment centers. We found out that the issue of shisha is growing. And I know that in my second home country, which is the United Kingdom, it's been banned long time. And so what we did on behalf of the young people that we are seeing themselves being destroyed by virtue of either peer pressure or wanting to fit in a society, because if you are not part of this society, it means that you can't smoke shisha. They have no idea of the effect.
The effect of it.
So we did our research, and from the research, we have realized that shisha is so dangerous. It's a killer as well, as compared relative to anything that goes in the body as smoke. Anything. So we did our findings, and we also found out that not only in Western countries, but even in Africa, there are a lot of countries that have banned the sale and consumption of shisha. If you are found, you go to court, you pay fines as well. Cameroon is the latest country in Africa that actually done the same. So what we did, in fact, I can say on your behalf as well, because as your children,
Mhm.
we wrote and also petitioned the both Committee on Health at the Senate level and at the legislative level, and we've presented our findings to them in the middle part of 2022. We have been running after them to make sure that they act upon it. We submitted our findings and everything. We came this straight. We have tried to meet them to actually vividly discuss our findings with them, which we're going to leave some of those things with you in your studio so you can display them for us. As you can see, some of the findings as well in terms of the research we have done.
So the one that look more black is the after
anybody who smoke, for that matter, including shisha. At the end, this is how your lunch will be like. So what we did, we've provided the findings to them. So because they are also dragging their feet, what we have decided to do, we have decided to go to school to engage our young people. We have done up to 15 schools now in Montserrat County, wherein we go, we show them the display, and we tell them the effect of it. We got everything documented that if you smoke, whether it's shisha or whatever, that you stand the high risk of losing your life very, 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 very soon. On the issue of shisha, if you look here, well, normally they sit down around that stuff. Okay. Sometimes you can sit down for an hour. Now, according to the findings, if you use 1 hour of taking shisha in, it's equivalent to 100 cigarettes.
100 cigarettes.
Yes. So this is so dangerous. And the findings also tells us that when you are into smoking, including shisha, one thing you'll have problem with is you will have infertility pregnancy complications, and it's in both male and female, that you reach to that stage now, you want a child, can't get a child, but you have no idea as to what's the system, what causing it. You will have a weakened immune system as well. In fact, aging, prematurely aging skin, you will have them. So somebody will appear to you, they tell you say they are 30 years old, but when you look at them, they look 60. They look 60 or so. So these are some of the factors that this issue is causing. So we have taken our fight now to schools every morning, 7 o'clock, 7:30, we to a particular school, and we address them. We show the children our concern with them, and we share with them why we stay await our lawmakers to have a deliberation on the issue. They have been putting it on the table for almost a year now. They have now put it on the table. It is scary, and now we're hearing about this issue of this Kush as well. So, Honorable DEA, let me come back to you again, because this fight against drug trafficking, we know, for me personally, Justice from Liberia is aware of your challenges, because we've been to the borders at least, and then we have seen what is happening there. We know you are stretched in terms of logistical need, and that's why when we sit on the table with diplomatic partners, we appeal on your behalf that we want your office to be equipped. We want you to have the technology that you need to work with, and we also continue to appeal to government to support initiatives such as yours, especially the institution DEA. Without you being, let's say, being able to adequately tackle those issues as quickly as possible, if drugs continue to come in this country, we will continue to have these problems. But again, let me go to the Capitol building. Look, everything we're talking about here, the main people that are supposed to help us to fight are the people that we send to that Capitol building. If these people continue to sit and don't even show concern, Joe, we are up for serious trouble. And I can see right now that the young people in this land, their lives are under serious threat. Now, this is a country that I can say we are far away from countries like Cambodia, from Afghanistan,
from Brazil.
and from Brazil, we are so far away. But why is it that when people are talking about drugs that can easily take life in a second, why should we be finding it here easily? Why? We all need to ask ourselves the questions and be able to come to a discussion that we can find a solution. And that's why, for me, again, I want to appeal to the government. Whether right now, my appeal will even fall on the ears that we hear because of the political euphoria that is now taking shape. But I want to appeal. We need to have a national conference. There is a serious crisis in the land. And if we don't tackle this drug trafficking crisis in the land, the next even 5 to 6 generations, lives are under serious threat.
I say that this drugs menace is poised to destroy the future of this nation. That is Axel or stupid.
No,
I mean,
not even to destroy. It's already destroying.
Already destroying. So I don't owe apology to anybody for making such statements.
No.
Yeah. So, but if you're joining the program, it's ABC Hard Talk. This is what we talk. They talk hard, and of course, for the character assassination. But let's take a quick break. When we come back, yes, my guests are all here. Then we will enjoy the best that we have to give you. So, Debbie, I'm here. We're taking a quick commercial break.
Gifty, where did you get the bricks used to build your house? See how strong the bricks look.
I got them from Rovia Bricks. Do not tell me you have not heard about Rovia Bricks.
You mean they are located in Liberia?
Yes, Angie. Rovia Bricks is a division of Rovia Logistics Incorporated, and they offer a variety of concrete products for all your construction needs. They have 6, 7, 8, and 4 inches blocks. That's not all.
Tell me more.
Rovia Bricks have coverts for roads and well, cornerstones, Colombo blocks, yard tiles, sand, be it smooth, rough, and mixed. They even have red dye for land filling and crushed rocks of all sizes.
How can I get to them?
You can locate Rovia Bricks right at the corner of Madonna and Kerry Streets on the Kakata Highway, Copper Farm area in Fendel, around the University of Liberia campus, or locate our head office on Randall Street. Call Rovia Bricks on 0777 874 231 or 0888 726 17. Email them on rovialib@gmail.com. Better still, WhatsApp them on 0777 874 231 or Facebook, Rovia Logistics Incorporated.
I'm calling them right now for that man's swampy land. No time to waste.
My ticket is there.
ABC Radio 105.1 FM.
Hey everyone, it's your girl Antonio, Miss Royalty Baby, and I want everyone in Liberia to know that I love listening to
105.1 FM.
Live from the King's Building in Monrovia, Broad and Buchanan Street, this is
ABC 105.1 FM.
Okay, welcome back. Welcome back to this all important program. The name is Joe Nutwawana, seated among 3 Liberians. We are all here concerned about the future of our children, actually, because we are all fathers seated here. We got children, and of course, grandchildren are all around the corner. But when we look ahead of, we don't see any visibility in terms of the children survival, the children future. They already live in the future, of course, but we don't see anything that resembles caretaking. Gentlemen, as we speak, I was driving coming over to the station this afternoon, right around Freeport area, between Claratown and that of Petit Town. A gentleman lying down just across the road, in the middle of the road, they're just lying down. I know he's dead. But we'll say, oh, that one a crazy man. They want that. It started from new clothes up to old clothes, and no care is taken. And there he goes. Actually, your side, which is the Bush Island side, this thing is very much paramount what is a man put in place as a vigilante group to at least help the DEA or the security apparatus for that matter?
See, Mr. Warner, actually is serious, especially when you look at places like Kuwait, Point 4 area. It's so bad. Can you imagine, Mr. Warner, someone comes to you and the person tells you that I don't have slipper, and you buy them the slipper that intended for the person to use, you will sell the slipper just to support their hobby.
Oh my goodness.
It's a serious issue. And this is I know when this thing happened, I wonder, since the drugs law was passed, I start asking myself, how do I get a copy of the drugs law? Can any of you show me the way? Do you have one? Do you have copy? It has been printed into handbill?
It hasn't been fully passed.
Why would delaying? Why?
The question is for the people who side.
I wish I
Why are we delaying?
Yeah, I wish I know the answer right
I
now.
want to know the reason why. I want a copy of the drugs law. I can't get it.
But do you suspect
Has it
that?
been
Do you
printed
suspect?
into handbill?
Do you suspect?
If
that
not, then
somebody-
why?
Then and actually, do you suspect that somebody somewhere is getting a kickback in terms of this drugs importation or something?
Mr. Warner,
High
how much
places for that
how
matter.
much kickback do you want to destroy the whole generation?
That greed now.
A leadership,
Liberian men greed.
the essence of leadership is to solve problems, is to create an environment for survivability, not for death. And all the money you have, you find out that all your children are involved into drugs, nothing benefit them. What does it benefit you, that wealth? Does it good wealth you have? I said no. Leave a legacy in your leadership that John Brown took power. These are the chinches he or she made.
You think the
for
community
people.
is prepared to point fingers and say,
I think-
hey, that's hustle over there, they're selling drugs, and inform the DEA,
Mr. Warner.
get Mark number and call him and say, Mark, you got to send somebody here now. We know those guys who selling the drugs.
Let me tell you one
The
thing.
community prepared?
After God is government, if government ready for problem to be solved, it will be solved. That is sincerity being in government. Then we buttress the government effort. Because government has the power, government has the resources. We will show the information. Government has the arm. Nobody can challenge the government if the government doing the right thing, unless the government does not want to do what is right. And how long does it take us to do what is right to benefit all? I think if the government ready, the citizen with the awareness. You see what my brother has done here. I saw some things. I must say, I say yes. If we create this kind of awareness, we just need resources to get the leaflet of all school centers. You post it there, people come and read, then you start following the reality when it comes to execution. We can make it because it benefits us to fight the drugs than to ally like this. Because what it does, it will affect generation, it will break down system, it will create crisis in the future. If we don't find solution to the problem, it will cause a serious problem that we all will not expect, because our brothers and sisters are vulnerable. They can do anything under the influence of drugs.
Yeah, but Michael, and to you and Pacquiao. Now I want to know something. The Asians, they don't play lip service to drugs.
No.
People that are on death row.
No, they don't.
In the great United States,
They don't.
they don't.
No.
The great United Kingdom you are from, they
You can't
don't.
try it. No.
Why are we still
Joe.
making playing the hanky panky game with drugs?
You
here?
know the problem when it comes to Liberia, we're parting everything from the United States. And I don't think the United States have a death sentence on a
But
drug
that's
penalty.
stringent.
We're
That's
passing
stringent.
on the
Granted,
lips.
yeah, granted.
On the
And
lips.
notwithstanding, it still does not presupposes that we should tread in a kind of a kind of soft path, especially when the experiences that we continue to see on account of drug use in our country, they aren't healthy for our society. I tell people that say Liberia if we feel that we'll copy everything from America, then we should also expect to behave like the way the American behave. But if we can't couple everything from America, then let's behave the way we Liberians think that we can be, and that it will distinguish us from other people, and we will be unique in ourselves and produce the best results that will suit this country.
And Michael, I found that very difficult. I found it difficult to just agree with you that Liberia got a uniqueness, because this is a country. I'm speaking. You look at television today. You see somebody will cut their hair and put a blue on the other side. The next 2 days, you see on the street of Monrovia.
That's what I said. If we think we can behave like America, but unfortunately we don't. No, I spoke in context, but this is what I'm actually trying to drive at. Our society, where we find ourselves, it's not where we were back in those days.
Right.
And I tell people, the amazing thing about this drug use or drug addiction spree is unfortunate. If you don't believe it, the people who didn't even saw war before, who didn't even fought war before, they are the more drug addict as compared to those who fought war.
That's right.
Imagine people who born in 2000, when they were babies, when they were being carried around in this place here, when we were having our infamous World War I, II, and III. These are some of the folks that are engaged in the drug addiction as though they had their experience while they were in their mother's womb. It's quite unfortunate. So it tells you that our society has been negatively fragmented. There is a problem with our society. And the only way we can deal with these issues is to call a spade a spade.
Right.
When something needs to be dealt with, let's deal with it, void of political sentiments, void of, a kind of public sentiment. Because you want to appease people.
I will get vote on that if I take this
we don't have to be thinking in these ways. We don't. And let me tell you something. The people need to understand that what concerns this country is far bigger than any single political institution here.
Precisely.
Right. It's far bigger than any single individual. Because a political institution can be just a minute portion of our country.
Right.
But the vast majority is what represents the country. And if the common good of the vast majority should supersede everything, then it means we should ensure that happens. And the younger generation, let me just close on this one. The younger generation now needs to start gravitating from the perception of being swayed by political rhetoric. We need to understand that this country future lies in our hands. If you will leave from school where your parents are paying their high-end money, they're sending you, you enter your classroom and you allow yourself to be influenced by a friend, you call that a peer pressure. And then when you enter the street, after you become wayward, then people give you name. They say the man is a victim. And we should term them or call them, people of circumstance. Who placed them in these circumstances? For God's sake.
In your summation, quick, I want you to please add this to your summation. Now, are you prepared that the last radical attitude then, shown by the people who supposed to be talking and shouting the loudest? We all become drugs infested before October 10. When you knock him and do, I'm so high on drugs line now, and they say election day and nobody turn out. You think he will be the best for them?
Probably that can be a good gift for them. But this is it. For me, I always like to be blunt. Our problem, the problem that we're talking about here, the crisis that we're talking about here, I can only tell you that, I will put my blame squarely on the Capitol building. That house, unless that house is clean and it has people in there, when we put people in there who will care for this nation, who will give us attention when we're talking about issues like this, then we are about to move forward. But this idea of impunity, where people are celebrating impunity in this country, is destroying Liberia. And our legislators, the reason that perhaps they don't know, the reason that we have sent them there individually is for them to work on our behalf, for them to advocate for us. When we are talking about issues like this, they are the one that's supposed to pick it up and add the volume to our voices. These individuals are not doing it. That is where the problem is. The problem is at that Capitol building. And as we stand, as we talk today here, our advocacy is not even going to be fruitful if we don't have the backing from them.
No.
This is what we're talking about. I mean, my brother Sano asking about whether the bill was passed and whatever. Why are these people even wasting time to pass the bill? Now, are they telling us that indeed majority of them actually support that drugs should be coming here? Are they indirectly telling us that indeed they are happy that our children are dying every day from substances that we shouldn't even be seeing in this country also? But let me take you back. I remember there was a case, I think it was in 2020, a case in which that, I mean, they even let an officer of the D or either commander from one of the borders point or so was even called upon in the Capitol building, and this lady was put under probe, and then later on we understand that, you know, while she was under that investigation or cross-examination, she fainted also. Now, my understanding was that a legislature or member of parliament, let's say of the house there, a representative or a senator, a lawmaker, name was mentioned about importing drugs in the country, coming and then having the full, the free way to pass or whatever. And that individual up to now, nothing came up out of the case. Joe, I remember it was 2019, back in the United Kingdom. This House of Parliament, the member of Parliament, this man has given his wife the car to drive, and she was driving 32 miles per hour on a 30 miles per hour, and the camera caught her. What happened? Bloop, it was sent, you know, I mean, the car was registered in the husband's name, who is the MP, and they, as usually through the normal process, they will send you the form to fill out to do a declaration, whether it was you yourself or driving or whatever. And he said on the form there that he is the one that was driving, just like maybe he wanted to go free.
Wow.
He thought he could go free anyway. And then later on, the police forwarded the case to the court. And later on, he said that he was driving, failing to know that camera finished booking, and the camera brought the photo in the court that actually it was a woman. For lying, he had to leave the job. For lying, he have to go to court. For lying, he have to pay fine and go to jail. Come on, this is an elected member of parliament. I mean, in a civilized society, you don't joke. There is no reason why we didn't see the end of that case. Up to now, I still posting something. I can still put a sister picture up. I say, where's my sister today? Where's the case and whatever? Nobody is telling us. So our problem today that we are facing, all of the problems that we're facing, obviously, as far as what's supposed to improve the life of our people from the community level to the national level, lies in the Capitol building. And unless there are changes there, Liberia will now move forward.
Actually, quickly, before I can come to you, I beg you, just give me 2 seconds on the issue. I read an analysis from...
gone already.
Yeah, okay. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Yeah, like 2 seconds. Now, I read a write-up from one of the local newspapers. It said to me that this guy was a car washer in one of our communities here. And he was approached by the Nigerian guy. I mean, I'll be blown with the story because it was a story that came, in fact, on front page African newspaper.
Okay.
This guy was called upon by this guy. He said, my man, I can make your life transform. You got children? He said, yes, I got children. Are they in school? No, they're not in school. My wife is even pregnant. That was a narration he gave the Nigerian guy. He said, but I can make you to do something better and live and make your life transform in the twinkle of my eyes. So the guy looked around. He said, are you a magician or something? He said, no. This is what we have. Guess what? Let me tell you the open secret today. The bag of rice, the 25-kilo bag of rice you're looking at today, that guy used to open the bags and puts the cocaine inside.
Wow.
transported to our various mining sites around the country.
Wow.
The Pekin started handling $200,000, 1 million, 2 million. According to him, let's transform. How can he report this Nigerian guy when the guy had transformed his life? So that's some of the impediment that in the ways of people because of poverty. People gave into this kind of thing. So actually, go ahead.
Yeah, like he said, I will come back to my brother. He's according to his story in England. I experienced a similar thing. But the money you're talking about transforming your life, you can't be transforming your life and destroying
The
generation.
detriment of the generation.
So that is not a transformation when it comes to your life. But the issue of that he raised, it happened to even this guy they call David Buckler. He was Home Secretary, a blind man. He had a fiancée who used to take care of him. So she traveled, and he was tried to have an inquiry from the British Embassy with respect to the lady visa, to fast track her visa to come back to take care of him.
Okay.
He was forced to resign on ground that he cannot be the Home Secretary in Great Britain to write the British consulate to find out about his fiancé visa. Just imagine, people could even have empathy with me. Oh, the man is blind. He needed somebody to have taken care of him. You know, they said, no, you shouldn't have done that. You are forced to resign, a blind man. So our society, we don't follow procedure. We don't follow laws. We favor some group. We go after some people.
Yeah.
So if we say the law says nobody should pass here, I don't care. You can be what kind of minister, what kind of director. That's what the law says. From that perspective, we can start changing things around. And I think that's how people build society. We have to live by principles, by ethics, the norm we have in society. If we live by it, I think Liberia will progress. But in the absence of that, it's difficult. That's why you see Western society is growing because the law has no eyes. If the law is blind. You see, justice is that. So to be blind.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter your status in society. It doesn't matter, you know, who I am. No, until we can change these things. Some of us are willing to help, but how many persons willing to support the initiative? In fact, when you try to live by principle, you say, look at that, when you think that you are not going to build this country, or who you think he is, you're the only honest man. That's what's spoiling the society. And sometimes, if you follow these Western styles of standard, and you say, okay, on the basis of that, I resign. Who you think he is? He resigned. He was still on in opposition. Rather than thinking that you are doing something right for generation to follow your footsteps, we need to leave legacy. And that the legacy we don't want to leave. We just pretend to say we're doing what is right, but many of the things we do in this country are totally wrong.
As I go to market, from what you just talked about, it presupposes to me that what I've been talking about here every now and then is about integrity when it's lacking. These kind of vices you see it coming up. And Marco, to you again, and at the airport, should we be giving people some VIP treatment with their luggages coming in and would look cooch and the quacks, cooch, and all the kind of things just surfacing on the markets?
But the first thing, security aren't airport attendants. We are not. Security aren't airport attendants. Attendants in the sense, those who work directly in the airport and provide services for passengers that comes in and go out. Right? Security prime job there is to ensure securities are intact. Now, for whatever specific security purposes, that responsibility is clearly defined. And when you see, I earlier stated that we need to define who we want to be. We claim we pattern everything from America, right? And if we want to be an Americans, can we please try and be an American?
And we can be, no matter how we twist our tongue, we can never
Obviously, we can be. So it makes our society compound complex, confusing. I'll tell you, you talk about integrity in Liberia. The people who
who stands for integrity in this country, they're the people that are unwanted in our society.
That's right.
Yes.
They've been crucified.
They're the people that are unwanted in our society.
Crucified.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. And to the extent where it becomes a repressor for you.
Yeah.
Simply because you want to show off something that you think is just
Right.
in society. So that tells you that the moral norms, the cultural values of our society has long been eroded. And that's the reason why to deal with issues in our country is a compound complex situation. Who told you Liberia is small? Even latest census recently conducted say we're probably about 5 million, right? But how much is 5 million?
Just a fragment.
How much is 5 million? 5 million is just a fragment of some state like Accra.
I said, no, a fragment of Accra.
Thank
Accra
you.
is 25 million. Just
Okay.
Accra, I mean,
So imagine.
Actually, I even tripled by this time.
I was telling people that I said
30 million now.
Yeah. I was telling people I said to fight drugs in Liberia is one of it's easy. The reason why it's easy, I can say, is because everybody in this country knows somebody. Mr. Wonder, there is no drug dealer that will enter in the country
And nobody know him.
that nobody knows him.
You're right.
The reason I'm saying is because it's how that dealer is friend to another friend who is another friend to another friend that is friend to another friend who is a friend to those who are in the high ranks.
You're right. Right.
So when drug dealer comes, they don't remain in the sky. They go into the community like we all say that. They live and dwell in communities. Community people provide landlordship for them. Some of them are tenants. Some are even landlords. And people in community know them. But if you attempt to show these people to the extent where they have built a criminal empire, people protect them. And the interesting thing again, our law protects them. How our law protects them? When he or she, look, this is a country where it is so funny that most time when we take those drug criminals to court, we are presented as though we are the common criminal. They leave us in the court and they walk out of the court on bail. Simply because our laws provide that they can get bail. And they will entrust you. You arrest a drug dealer today, bam. That drug dealer is hastening you to carry him to court. Even we will not even investigate them. You will see lawyers trooping our office.
That's right. Because I want to get the free money.
Get the free money.
Yeah.
So until we redefine what we want in this country, it makes the country difficult for us. We're talking about the drug law. I mean, you're talking about law that is creating insecurity. Look at the statistic on, the account of drugs in this country. We're talking about serious armed robbery in this country. Drugs is accounting for them.
Right.
You're talking about harassment, criminal harassment, burglary in this country. Drugs is accounting for them.
100%.
Oh yes. You talk about even insane rape in this country.
Right.
Drugs is also accounted. It's accounted for them. And so if you are macroscopically looking at the impact of drug in our society, it will squarely tells you that drugs are account for several crimes in our country. And if that is the case, that means it's not an easy thing to be played with.
Mark,
take it very seriously.
Mark, it tells me that we said that all the sicknesses leave from town, but cough should stay.
Okay.
Meanwhile, cough is a contagious disease.
Of course, it's
As
a
I
communicable
cough here,
disease. It will spread. Then you say it should remain.
I see our women groupings and that of other advocacy grouping lay more emphasis on rape. And what causes their rape? They refuse to talk about it, which is drugs. And they all know, like you said, you know who bringing the drugs. But because one mother feed that other rascal who bringing drugs impregnated his daughter or her daughter, obviously he's going to shield that person.
And you see the problem, we talk about integrity. Our society almost have lost relevance when it comes to that. The people who do drugs, the children who are drug addicts, they are all from the very communities.
That's right.
And they will terrorize that community to the extent that that community will remain unbearable. By the time now they overwhelm the community, the same community dollar come up and say, oh, the DA will not do anything. DA will not do anything. Now, when are we going to take affirmative actions? When DA are moving but all the communities in this country, in this city, we've demolished ghettos over and over and
And
over
as you
and
walk
again.
away, and
As you walk away, the people sit upon a new ghetto is being rebuilt.
Let's rebuild in no time.
Doing nothing. A year we cry foul. We say security not doing anything. The first security to any human being is themselves.
Right.
At the moment you know your surrounding, what is around you, what is endangering to you, you should know. So when you see something creeping gradually, put an end to it if you can. If you can't do it, then of course that's when you start looking for outside help. But when it starts, look, no ghetto is erected in a day.
Yep.
They start by regularly converging in a number from 1 to 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5. On, and then they start to pull 4 stakes down. They sit down on the look for another tree. From the tree, they look for lay tarpaulin. From tarpaulin, then of course they are becoming fully grown gradually. And by the time they have grown up and overwhelmed society, that's when we complain. Now, security moving, security play their part. We will not establish detail everywhere. It's not possible. We've not got the capacity for
You don't
this.
have it. You don't have it.
So when they're moving and clear these places, and then we expect, look, community leadership is a problem in this country. So-called chairmanship, community leadership in this country, they are running no help to large communities. You have youth in communities, and you sit down there just like fighting men, terrorize communities simply because you see them as victims.
Right.
Oh yeah, because you see them as victims. When you still have too many youths who can put together and prevent these people from terrorizing community, only with the courage from a leadership of a community. But what if the community have become spineless? At the end of the day, I mean, they rain, complain, and then they talk about government. Oh, they say security D, you're not doing nothing, not doing nothing. And what have you been doing? Absolutely nothing. The last time, in fact, some years back when we were opening the ETMI Carwell station, the place where the DA has hosted offices, that place was given to the DA by the community. Interestingly, when we went for the opening, the elder in the community went there to make statement, and they said they thanked the DA for coming because the DA persons would bring relief. Shockingly, the youth went to give their own assessment. You provide rebuttal to the old man.
Okay.
And said, no, we'll not sit here and allow this old man to come and take glory for what he worked for. In fact, this old man has been a old man keeping a drug dealer in this place.
Wow.
A chairman, I'm telling you, the youth chairman said this old man who sat here, who spoke, have been the one encouraging a drug sale right here. Because he was benefiting, so you should not pretend. And that day, they nearly turned our taking over ceremony upside down. But thankfully, we managed to control it. But it was a scene to witness. Imagine that. And I've gone to several places where people accuse community leadership of supporting drugs. So tell me now, come to think about it.
It's a poverty.
So
it's a poverty, people.
But is it the only means to survive now?
But Liberians are lazy. Don't want to extend themselves to do
It's
any other
because
thing.
people see, look, we define government different way. The way it's written in the book, not how we define it here. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
But not how we define it here. Because when you say the government by the people and for the people, it means it's a shared responsibility.
Right.
Government has his part or her part to play, while the people got their part to play. But unfortunately, everybody in the country want government to do everything. Even somebody can create their own diet.
That's right.
And they want government to come and clean it.
Yeah.
You take your death from your home, you bring it, you put on the road. When it gets piled up on the road, and you say the government not cleaning nothing.
Right. That's
what I said. Until we decide, if we keep pretending like we are Americans or we patent things from America and yet we are not there, it's a shame to us.
If you think that the gentleman, I want y'all to take to the phone lines at about 5:31 the city of Monrovia.
Okay.
But any other thing that you guys thought that we didn't add up, you can just go around the table again before we go to the audience, because I'm sure most of them want to be part of our discussion here in the studio.
Well, I mean, let me congratulate my colleagues for fascinating discussion, and it's a topic that I think I would love all the media institutions to get involved, journalists to actually fish out as well and go for such a news and be able to live the voices of even the mothers that are crying in those communities as well. Do the investigation and then bring it to light as well. But look, all of us are talking in the interest of our children and their future. But my appeal here, I'm still not going to leave them out. My appeal is to the Let me start out with the
The
legislatures.
Okay, the legislature.
Please, you people are our eyes and our mouths. There is a situation on hand right now. If there's some other countries right now, I'm telling you, the number of people that died just within the last 2 weeks, by now will have declared perhaps a national crisis on drugs in Liberia. And I won't be surprised if even the head of state can get involved in this thing. So at least we can get to the bottom of it. But it is serious. And I want to continue to appeal to our international partners. There's a need to help and empower, especially the DEA. I attended the graduation ceremony last time. I was invited at the Liberian National Police, wherein UN was there, ECOWAS was there. On the Interpol, they have trained at least about 28 of our citizens who have decided to take, to take job in the area of Interpol. And what I told them there was that, look, now you have discovered these guys, you have developed them, and you are about to deploy them. My caution and also my appeal to you is that do not leave them alone. These guys are going to be looking after our borders. If you don't look after them, for them to look after their family members, the borders will be compromised. Drugs traffickers can easily work on their minds and they will forget about what the job they are doing. Yes, of course. And that's what happened to our brother Joe.
Okay.
If our guys are well taken care of, nobody will compromise the borders for us.
If our guys are well taken care of, nobody will compromise. Michael, what do you say about
You
that?
know, well taken care of is relative, but let me just say
Yeah, it
this.
is. It is relative. And see, I'm talking about
our needs and wants are, insatiable. But let's say this, security as a whole, they are always challenging. And especially in a country where, we still fighting to have a strong economy. And it's not that the people, the security, they want to tolerate some of the things that people say happens, right? I will tell you, security in this country, it is only by our patrioticness. I will tell you, security in this country, they are very much patriotic. And the reason why I say this is because in this country, where we live, where we work, security have got limited support. But still, in the absence, they are still ensuring that our country is safe and sound. That is clear. And let me just this country is a drug-free nation, though we are still fighting. But it tells you that when the support are provided, we'll do exploit in this country. We're fighting drugs manually, just with our bare hands. We arrest drug traffickers who are armed. We arrest drug dealers who are armed in this country. At a point in time, we arrest people who are trafficking arms as well. Times without number, we've arrested several arms and ammunitions in this country. Imagine how can that work? Somebody who doesn't have arms and they are yet arrested people with arms. That speaks to our resilience.
You're arresting a man who can make you rich in a second.
Oh, no, of course, come to think of it.
Yeah.
That's what I said. It is just as a result of our own patriotism.
Your children's school fees is on your mind.
Of course.
And
too many things.
Too many things.
And yet and still we're looking at these things.
You're looking at liquid cash.
And somebody was saying, oh, look, forget about even the 100 million drug bust that we had recently in last year and this one and this year in March. We have arrested huge quantity of drugs in this place. Where, I mean, it didn't create
a kind of an open cloud where people will say other people were not there because people when we arrested at 1 million people say, but thank God for the American ambassador when they in that those jobs would have been squandered. No,
yeah, I heard that.
That's a perception. No,
I heard that rematch.
We have arrested several drug squandered in this country. Okay, forget about the 1 million drug. All the drugs we've been burning a year. Was it as a result of the American people? No, it was as a result of our own resilience. We arrested the drugs, we kept them, and where necessary, we destroyed them. I remember one time on our Facebook page, we were streaming live while doing some of the brand. People were coming and said, I don't want to hear. You don't even get 50 car, you're destroying money. What people want us to do now? Imagine. You don't even have 50 car.
Liberia.
And yet you are destroying money. And some other folks from other countries started saying, wow, Liberians are destroying money. You guys are interesting. So what do you want us to do? But that's the job we've got to do.
That's the job we got to do. So actually, let me hear what you quickly before I can go to the phone line.
Well, I think, as he said, they did it, trying her best, but they need more support. And this fight should be a collective fight. It's our country. And I think we all can make it if we are sincere in this fight.
Sure.
It is not all the money you go for. Sometimes you protect society and forgo certain things. So for me, I prefer for Liberia to be safe than to take few dollars and threaten my life.
Thank you.
So I can tell everyone that there is a need. If we are on the issue of drugs, now we should be serious and see how best we can fight it. And we should mount pressure on those who have the authority to pass a drug law, to print it into handbill. They will get copy.
Yeah.
They will read it, what in it. Then we can see how best we can help collectively to have it fought. So we want the drugs law, we want it to be printed into handbill, and we want copy. There's the pressure, the women, the men whose children are dying to stand up for the life of their children. In other countries, when one person dies on certain issues, it raises concern in that country. And at the end result, it can be addressed. I think this time, it is the time we should start addressing drugs issues.
Thank you.
We should not allow it to get too late for us. Thank you very much.
Collectiveness is what has been said there by my panelists. I will call them panelists because we're just trying to educate the public with respect to what the Herculean tax that is on the hands of the Liberian people. Now, most of all look at it to be, and that the government be no, who the government, like you and myself, we only got a DA, they're just as a component to help to fight illicit drugs. But on that note, I want to say you can call now. The number to call is 0777105 and 0555105 Liberian, wherever you are, you want to be part of our discussion. Let's hear from you. Those are you landlord. Your name was mentioned here. Is it true that you have these guys who come in with a huge drugs and because they love into your daughter or because they love into your sons and you allow them to sell the cocaine in your area, you allow them to sell the drugs in your area? But let's go to the phone and talk to the first Liberian that calling here. Hello, your name and where you calling us from? Hello? Okay. Hello? Hello? Oh, am I getting you? Hello? Oh, I think I missed that call. 0777105 and 0555105 number to call and let me make it interactive. Let's hear from you, Liberian, wherever you are, and you want to follow our discussion here. We're talking about the illicit drugs, especially the kuch drugs that when you take it in less than no time, you die. And gentlemen, while we're waiting our call, there's a research work that I was doing in recent days in America. I can't remember the state vividly. There's a drugs they're taking there now. They call it zombie. As they take it, will just stay one place and be null until they fall.
I think it's relative to this. It's the same thing.
It's the same thing. Yeah. It's the same thing. Yeah.
I seen the video of the little child that's trending now, right?
Okay. No, this one. I mean, it was a news analysis by the station.
It's the same treatment. You take it, you don't stay in one place.
Okay.
You like this.
You like this.
Like a zombie.
Right.
Yeah.
Zombie.
Yeah. So
I saw that. I said, "Hey, go ahead, he coming like bro." So now they already here.
I mean, there's a video right now.
Kush, yeah. Over the past years, we've been arresting Kush, though in fewer quantities, but now we are arresting them in huge quantities.
Okay, so you can call now and make it interactive. Yeah, go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Arrest. If you say confiscation, meaning
confiscate.
Meaning there's a source. What's about the source then?
Of course, we arrested those drugs along with the suspect.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, sure.
What about technician? Technician, look, I'm having a little problem in getting my line
So,
activated here.
I mean, if we go to the dialogue side now, when you do that, what do you do next?
But we follow the rudiments of the law. Our law provides that when one is arrested as a suspect, you investigate the person you charge and forward them to court.
Okay.
And when they get to court, it is a court that will make the determination based on the evidence induced against them.
Hello?
So that's what we do.
So what happens?
Hello?
The 100 million.
The case is
the entity that brought in the $100 million worth of drugs. I heard that the entity is still doing business. When it was closed.
No, but the entity the entity provided quote unquote collaboration.
My calls are coming in, but I'm not getting the calls.
The major whistleblower.
Hello, do I have this call on the line?
And so the government have decided that the company continue working.
Hello?
Yeah, they provided the information, the support also.
Okay, I got my way through. Hello? Yeah, your name and where you calling from? Yeah, your name and where you calling from? Okay, Jeff, yeah, those populated area have been accused of harboring a drugs peddler. How true is it? Okay. Okay. Thank you for your call. Do appreciate it. Hello. Yeah, your name and where you calling from, sir? Okay, Mr. Ambassador, you are live. Let's go ahead. Thank you. Yeah, just hold it down on there. Yeah. Okay. Thank you too for your call. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, your name and where you calling me from?
Hello.
Hello, your name and where you calling from? You're live.
Yeah, there is Jim and Freeman calling from the borough of Newton County, Mississippi.
Let's hear you, sir.
Yes. The first thing I gave us.
Hello. Hello. Oh, sorry, my brother. I can't keep you holding the line hostage. 077-105-100 and 055-105-100 number to call. Call on that. Let's hear your side of the story. Is school in your area? What about the case? Are you hiring one guy that are giving your parents maybe the little $1 and $2 for the medication and he's into drugs? Or one mother is there selling the cocaine to the little children and passing in Kenya, passing in Case Me or in Kenya? Come on, talk to us because it is about you. That's the reason why we are seated here. So come on and talk to us about it. We want to know how best can we work as a team and not only pointing finger at government because we are the government. Those people that are there, they are only the implementers. We only have them there, they say they can better control our activities, but they are not the one that own the country. We own the country. So we here talking about our affairs. You young guys out there at the university, at the high schools, taking in the drugs, your friends dying in the 20s. Nowadays, they say that born 1980, died 1989. 9 years you live for because drugs. Born 2000, that 2018, 2019, 2022, 2023. So let's hear from you. 077-105-100 and 055-105-100 number to call. And let's hear from you, Liberians, with respect to what is unfolding today in our society. The drugs are taking over. We're not going to say it is taking over. It has taken over because from the local things, out of our community. I mean, lip services from that of our parliament. Since October last year, nothing has been going on. And even look at the $1 million drugs issue. They said they should bring interpreter to carry on the case at the judiciary. Are we making mockery of what is destroying this nation? Let's hear from you people. Wherever you are, let's go back to the phone and talk to another caller. Hello, your name and where you calling from? Yes, I hear you, sir. Thank you too for your call. We do appreciate it. 077-105-100. Two more calls because I got to go around the table again before I take leave of this platform. 077-105-100 and 055-105-100 number to call and let me get interactive. Two more calls because my guests have been here since 4 o'clock with me. We've been dining and whining together with respect to what is happening to Mama Liberia. So the two last callers, who will be the two lucky callers? Let's hear from you quickly before I take leave of your segment, and come back in studio to my guests. Okay, but in the main vein, while I'm still waiting you, let me just go around the table, and the call can come, we'll make it interchangeable. Starting with you. Okay, let me take this call. Before they say I didn't do them do the other thing. Hello, yeah. Hello, sir. Yeah, Rufus, let's hear you quickly. Okay. All right. Okay, that's all you did. Let's take the last call. Oh, come on, walk away from the radio. Come walk away from the radio, or else I'll take you off. Yeah, please don't do that again next time. I beg you. Okay, let's go ahead quickly. You the last caller. Let's hear you quickly. Yeah, let's hear you quick now. Mm. Right. Mm. Okay. Mm. Okay. My bad. It's a sad story anyway. It's sad. I hope you can contact us and you come to the studio one of these days that we will be able to, prolong the kind of discussion you're talking about, because it's very, very necessary for somebody like you to visit us here at ABC. Yeah. No, just come over at ABC. Whenever you're in town, just stop by at ABC Radio. Ask for Joe Wonder. Yeah. I beg you. Yeah. Thank you very much. Gentlemen, time I cut about, but let me just go around 1 minute each with each of you guys as we conclude on this all important discussion.
Let me start off. Let me first of all say thank you very much, ABC family, for the invitation. Thank you for the interest developed in this particular topic. As usual, you always flag out issues that are so nearest to our hearts as well. My question on behalf of Justice Forum Liberia, we want to invite even our brother that just spoke from the intellectual forum, and all of the intellectual forums across Liberia, particularly Moss Rwanda County. Even our DEA representative here, we want to invite you as well. But Big Brother Sano is here. On Monday, we just want to turn out on Monday at 9 o'clock opposite the Foreign Ministry. To raise a profile, to continue raising the profile of this killer. I can say killer disease now in our country, Kush, and other substance that we are actually concerned about. So please, on Monday 9 o'clock, let's meet right opposite there. We're going to be there for maybe 1 or 2 hours. Okay. Just with our posters and to call the attention of all of us.
Mark, let's get quickly. Yes, your 1 minute.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Warner. The conversation was a fascinating one, and at least was information sharing. But again, the DEA have taken due cognizance of the fact that this issue of Kush is alarming, and we're doing what we think we can to safeguard our state. Our doors are open. Whenever you see people getting involved in these things, please let us know. And like we always say, when you see something, you say something. Thank you. The life you save today could be yours tomorrow. And together, we can all make Liberia better. I'd like to say thank you.
Very good. And lastly, Ashano.
Mr. Wanda, actually, I'm hypnotized for the level of discussion. It shows a high level of patriotism.
Thank you.
And I think this is how all Liberians should be, to move our country forward. I feel hurt when I see my country dirty, see young people coming up, walking, sleeping, and I feel that this will happen to anyone. So we all have to work collectively to solve the problem. Don't be our brothers and sisters keepers as Liberians, and that's how we can be our nation. So thank you for the talk show, and I hope other media institutions will take this as an issue that is vital to our society. Thank you very much. And thank to all of my two colleagues in here as well.
Okay, that were the voices of my guests, the Achisano, of course, Michael Jible, and that of Maxine Bakio. We've been talking about the drugs besides the Kuch. But until the next Thursday, I will be here. But tomorrow, Theo William and that of Anthony Jeffan will be here to do the best they can. So thank you for your listening role. And bye-bye. Have a pleasant evening. The best is yet to come on ABC Radio. I'm Joe Neutral, one of your humble servants.